After folding the Terminites, the Claimers, the Grady Hospital Cops, the Soy Boy Alexandrians, the Wolves, the mother of all Walker hordes, and after surviving the fall of the prison, Ricky Doodah Grimes was definitely feeling himself. I mean, the man even got himself some chocolate. So it was only natural for Rick to feel that he and his group of battle-hardened survivors were. Hence, when Hilltop offered to hire Rick and his crew as mercenaries in exchange for food and farming equipment, Sheriff Grimes decided to take that deal because he felt it'd be an easy paycheck. Rick knew that this new group, which he was being hired to cap, had already tacked his own people, and he also knew that they weren't the type to negotiate in good faith. So naturally, he had no problem with smoking these deadbeats. Now, we gotta give Rick some credit here. He clearly made sure this job was democratically approved by the privileged cucks of Alexandria. Regardless of that fact, this decision would prove to be Rick's greatest blunder on the show. For those of you who haven't seen my previous video on this exact incident, I do believe Rick's preemptive strike of the Saviors was ethical and strategically sound. But in that same video, I mentioned that this act of war was executed poorly. And I really want to hammer that point in this specific video, because it is possible to make the right decision, but to also totally botch the execution of said decision. The main issue, in my eyes, was Rick's overconfidence. It's totally understandable to see how Rick grew such confidence, but from an objective standpoint, when entering a conflict with any opposing force, whether it be in competitive sports, gaming, or actual war, being arrogantly confident in one's own abilities will often cause you to make some serious blunders. One could certainly say that victory had defeated Grimes in this case. This overconfidence is what caused Rick to abandon the core tenets of warfare and coherent battle planning. And the single most important tenet botched by Rick the Prick was the importance of gathering sufficient intel on the opposition force. Rick took what Jesus and the Hilltop told him to heart, but he didn't investigate to see if their claims about the Savior's combat strength were accurate. Rick certainly could have done more recon. Like, I don't know, maybe watch the satellite outpost's activities for like a week and then going on to follow any leads gathered from such observations. He could have worked with Hilltop to set up an ambush to trap Savior patrol groups. As we know, the Saviors tend to visit their vassal states often to collect tribute payments. After ambushing the patrol group, Hilltop could have informed the Saviors that a new and unknown group had attacked them and had eliminated the patrol, thus clearing their own names. And the surviving members of the ambushed Savior convoy could have been interrogated by Rick's group in order to gather more intel. Rick's group, after garnering better information, could have then asked for a down payment from Hilltop, because new intel would suggest the Saviors aren't a cakewalk. This additional down payment would help to delay Alexandria's food shortage problem as well. With better intel, Rick's group could have planned a better attack, or they could have focused on remaining hidden for as long as possible, fortifying their position and building up their combat capabilities in preparation for an eventual conflict with the non-negotiable Saviors. Hell, Rick could have asked Jesus to introduce him to these other communities that Jesus alluded to earlier. Rick could have linked up with the kingdom much earlier. And sure, King Easykill would not have joined him at this point in the story, but he would have been able to provide Rick with even more intel. Any of these options would have been far better than launching a haphazard preemptive strike on a group you have scant intel on. Finding out that the Saviors had a literal post-apocalyptic army after you lost the element of surprise and right when you needed to get a sick bitch to see a doctor at another community is perhaps the worst fucking time to get the intel you needed. Rick fucked around and found out, and because of that, we lost Madman Abraham and Invincible. Remember folks, proper planning and preparation prevents piss-poor performance, and intel is one of the most important factors in said proper planning and preparation, and it is also key in winning any conflict, whether it be a game, debate, professional fight, court case, or even real war. The fact that Rick didn't seek more of it led directly to his worst mistake. Anyways, if you like this sort of content, please like, share, and fucking subscribe. Also remember that you may opine anytime if you feel so inclined down in the comment section. I'm Captain Gold and I hope to see you in my next Gold Standard video.